When you get to the bottom of the rabbit hole in this world, you find Satanism and you find pedophilia. And every day, despite the fact that the globalists are trying to hide this information, it is coming out in mainstream news. When I first got involved in news and political action 25 years ago, a lot of the old-timers came to me that had been politically involved. They educated me about the private Federal Reserve, about globalism. That's when I learned about Ron Paul. And they told me, Alex, at the bottom of the rabbit hole, they're devil worshipers and pedophiles. And despite the fact that I'd grown up in the richest county in Texas at the time, Rockwall, Texas, outside Dallas, and despite the fact that I'd seen some of the occultism and some of the really rich people, billionaires and others that lived in the area, I still just didn't believe it. I thought it was just localized to what I saw. But now, after 25 years of being deeply plugged into what's happening in the real world and focused 16 hours a day on news and information and sources, I can tell you 100%. But you already know this too. It's all over the news these days. They can't hide it. It's just oozing out from the floorboards. Like John Wayne Gacy, the stench of the dead bodies. The cops finally come over, he invites them in for coffee. They could smell the rotten meat coming out of the vents in the floor as they drank coffee. They couldn't wait to get out and get a search warrant. In the case of the globalists, the deputy pope's been caught kidnapping and raping over 100 children. Every globalist you turn around is constantly getting caught. You've got Skull and Bones, Bohemian Grove. Those are just gateways into it. And then here it is today. The president of the Washington Post and his wife were hardcore black magic practitioners. She's written a book about it. Who she believes they killed people with black magic. That's up on Infowars.com right now. It's from Breitbart. Gatekeepers of D.C. society, Sally Quinn, comes out as a cultist, use hexes to kill people, and she wants you to know how powerful she is, and she can kill you now. Talk about lunatics. But why is that so interesting? Without even trying, in today's stack, and we have the audio of it coming up in Hillary's own voice, Hillary Clinton, I wanted to make voodoo dolls of reporters, lawmakers, and stick them with pins. Now, you have to understand, the Clintons have had vacations in Haiti. They have visited voodoo priests. They've spent weeks in voodoo churches. They practice demon possession. That's what voodoo is, ladies and gentlemen. Whether you believe in it or not, it is the trying to get spirits to come into you. And I've had guests on that work for the Clintons. It's even come out. Tony Blair's wife is into it. Francois Mitterrand. I mean, they're all into it. It was in the London Telegraph years ago that Tony Blair every morning goes into his little chapel and falls to his knees, flopping around on the ground. Flopping around on the ground when he's possessed by the spirit of the light. Tony Blair every morning becomes possessed, falling on the ground, having a convulsion. He believes the spirit enters him. This is just today's news. Her new book, How Much She Loves Voodoo. The former president, Ben Bradley of the Washington Post, had his wife, she believes, kill people for him with hexes. Here's Hillary. Here's another one, though. Oh, Seattle Mayor Ed Murray resigns after 5th child sex abuse allegation. And surprise, surprise, he looks just like John Wayne Gacy. They all look like John Wayne Gacy. Hastert looks like John Wayne Gacy. Menendez looks like John Wayne Gacy. The deputy pope looks like John Wayne Gacy. They always look the same. It's weird. They could even be black. They look the same, or Hispanic. Ladies and gentlemen, we're live broadcasting worldwide. I am your host, Alex Jones. We're going to be here for the next 4 hours live. There is so much incredible news and information to cover. But the first thing I'm going to get into is the fact that when you get to the bottom of the rabbit hole in this world, you find Satanism and you find pedophilia. And every day, despite the fact that the globalists are trying to hide this information, it is coming out in mainstream news. Look at this New York Mag headline. Clinton linked to satanic rituals involving kidnapped children and Marina Abramovich. That was them last year making fun of it. But look, they're not making fun of it now. Hillary Clinton has come out in her new book. We're getting the audio right now. And talked about how she likes to practice voodoo. But look at this story. The CEO of the Washington Post, the president, vice president until his death in 2014, his widow, Ben Bradley's widow, Sally Quinn, the Lady of D.C. as she's known, one of the top socialites of the Democratic Party and Republican Party, both friends with JFK. That's how Bradley got his start. Says that they conducted satanic rituals, black magic rituals, and killed people. That's the headline. Gatekeeper of D.C. society, Sally Quinn, comes out as an occultist, used hex to kill people. When you read what she was into, it's black magic. What does John Podesta admittedly go to in the emails? Not the pizza place they diverted people off onto in D.C. In New York, he's invited by Abramovich, who says she does real rituals, Aleister Crowley rituals. With blood, semen, you name it, children attending the events. And these are just the public gateway events. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't want to show any more of it on there. Just get her off. Your little vampire outfit. So that's who these evil, selfish, grasping people are. And there's more. It's in the news every day. More high-level cardinals busted with little kids. The deputy pope caught being indicted for kidnapping and running hundreds of little boys. And now, Seattle Mayor Ed Murray resigns after fifth child sex abuse allegation of raping children. And then take a look at Ed Murray's face and then pull up Ted Bundy. Pull up John Wayne Gacy. That's what he really looks like. Pull up Senator Menendez on trial right now and just look at the faces on these. The mayor, Bill de Blasio of New York's right-hand guy got caught with hardcore child porn. Never even got mentioned in the news that he was connected to the mayor. Look at Weiner, Anthony Weiner. Look at Dennis Hastert. Look at all of them. They have the same little piggy faces and the same little piggy eyes. And that's who's in power. That's your Speaker of the House. That's your mayors. That's who's in charge. And while the boys are running around chasing your little boys, the girls are putting on black cloaks and doing satanic rituals and telling you in autobiographies that they killed people during rituals. Now, why are they telling you they killed people? Because they believe they're losing right now. And in black magic, if you can tell somebody you did it or you're going to do it, it ups the power. It's called lesser magic. I don't believe in it. They do. I'm like an anthropologist, a sociologist, a psychologist, a lay psychiatrist looking at crazy people with their magical thinking. But this is the psychopathic behavior. It's the mindset. It's the criminology. Every day, just today, Hillary, I love voodoo. I want to use voodoo against my enemies. And then we have that whole history of her. You heard that here years ago that she's into voodoo. Let's get Larry Nichols on today. See if he'll answer the phone. You heard it from countless others. I've read it in the newspapers about her back when she was First Lady. I've talked to folks in Hollywood. They say it's rampant. The child molestation, the devil worship. Hillary Clinton, I wanted to make voodoo dolls of reporters, lawmakers, and stick them with pins. That's just part of her coming out. And then gatekeeper of D.C. society, Sally Quinn, comes out as an occultist, use hex to kill people. And again, she believes she's killing people. You and I, meaning normal people, we look at our thought leaders, our media and our culture overlords, and the ruling class, and oftentimes wonder how they can be so venal, dishonest in pursuit of what they want and what they most want of us all is control of our lives. And it just goes on how they want to run our lives completely. So again, we look at the ruling class and oftentimes wonder how they can be so venal, dishonest in pursuit of what they want. What they want most of all is control over our lives, over normal people. Those of us who do not want to control anyone, we just want to be left alone. Exactly. Very, very powerful, very, very simple. And so you see the devil worship news, the devil worship information, going from just being rumors, the child molestation, the pedophilia, the occult, from rumors to they're getting busted across the board. So now they're trying to normalize it. Yeah, we're devil worshipers. Yeah, we like kids. What's she going to do about it? They're desperately trying to condition you through MTV and through Viacom and through sexualization of children and through tolerance training that the government gets to sexualize your 5-year-old children and start telling them about sexual preferences and sexual acts. Those are pre-acts of serious pedophilia. Those are grooming and sexualization preparation. And it's come out against the British royal family. It's come out against the British and aristocracy of Europe as well. It's come out that the BBC is just riddled. And now it's breaking an elite pedophile ring supermarket's been discovered in Portugal. That's why the globalists are obsessed with refugees and third world populations the UN can control. Sir Edward Heath was a pedophile, says police chief. Astonishing claim is made that the former PM is guilty of vile crimes covered up by the establishment, close quote. And then you read this. To put it bluntly, this is from the memoir. We're now learning that the Queen of Camelot is an occultist, a witch of sorts, who honestly believes, according to her own memoir, that she murdered 3 innocent people. And then it goes into how she killed them. And this is just what they're putting in their memoirs. Now, why do you think back in 1987 they'd have somebody like Martin Sheen in a movie called The Believers come out and have a whole production about voodoo cults in New York City and voodoo cults in D.C. and voodoo cults in Chicago and voodoo cults running and controlling politics? When we come back, I'll play the actual trailer for you. Now, because the one we had on screen's not it, just a heads up. I found it back there on my computer, or John back there can give it to you if you want to go ask him. But continuing, ladies and gentlemen, you have to understand who you're dealing with. You want to be left alone. You want to be wholesome. You want to have a nice life. You don't want to run people's life. You're not a megalomaniac, narcissist, sociopath, or psychopath, or masochist who wants to hurt people. And so you're blind to the fact that they organize themselves into positions of power and get into positions of power. And that's why every civilization has histories and stories and legends about how groups get together and become evil and become possessed and start doing horrible, vicious, evil things to people. And how demon possession, a spirit comes in the world and takes control of people. Whether you believe in the spirit world or not, there is a mass mental illness that develops in complex civilizations of people falling to an evil computer program, falling to psychopathic activity. In ancient Greek cities, they would start having people go insane as well and start living in the catacombs or in the hills. And a lot of times on weekends, they would have vampire hunting forays to go out and kill the crazy people, because the crazy people would grab you in the night, drag you into a cave, and drink your blood. They had the same thing in Eastern Europe, the same thing in Western Europe, the same thing in Africa, the same thing in Mesoamerica. Every culture had vampires. They don't live forever. They're not really Count Dracula, but they want to grab you or your child and suck your blood. They want to torture you. They want power over you. And Hillary Clinton and all the rest of the top Democrats and that babbling idiot Pelosi, guaranteed you can watch her know, they're devil worshipers. They're blood drinkers. Let's go to Debit in Florida. Debit in Florida, you're on the air.
Great. Hey, thank you so much. Listen, I have bought your product, and I gotta say they're amazing. Anyone who's on the fence, buy it, because I've got Caveman, Superman Vitality, Secret 12, Vitamin Mineral Fusion. I've got the body armor.
Wow, thank you.
Wow.
You're the type of listener that makes it all possible. Which nutraceutical does you like best?
I really like the Vitamin Mineral Fusion, to be honest. That's
amazing.
Really incredible. I drank it in the morning, and I swear to you, I felt incredible. Like I haven't felt in weeks. My morning was fantastic, and I love you guys. I love the InfoWars crew, and I just want to, I want to take this opportunity to tell anybody out there who's on the fence, just buy it. You will love it. I'm telling you, I've never bought a bad product.
What you find in our news is the same thing you find in our products at InfoWarsLife.com. It's a win-win, InfoWarsLife.com.